In the 21st century, a time marked by unprecedented progress and technological advancement, millions of women still live in fear and oppression, their voices stifled, their potential untapped, and their basic human rights denied. Denied basic rights many take for granted, such as education, freedom of movement, and the right to make decisions about their own lives. The World Economic Forum warns, in its annual Global Gender Gap report, it could take over a century to close the global gender gap, a stark reminder of the systemic inequalities that persist across the globe. Nearly 1 in 3 women worldwide have experienced violence, a staggering statistic that underscores the pervasive nature of gender-based abuse. These are not just statistics but shattered lives, dreams deferred, and futures stolen. Today we journey into the heart of this struggle to understand the challenges and amplify the voices of those who are often unheard, bearing witness to women whose rights are most severely curtailed, living under oppressive regimes and discriminatory laws, from Afghanistan, where women face increasing restrictions on their freedom and access to education, to Africa, where harmful traditional practices and systemic inequalities continue to marginalize women, and the Middle East, where cultural norms and legal frameworks often perpetuate gender discrimination. We'll explore the laws and norms that create these prisons of gender, trapping women in cycles of poverty, violence, and disempowerment. This is not just a report on suffering but an investigation into the root causes of gender inequality, but a testament to resilience, the unwavering spirit of women who are fighting for their rights and building a better future for themselves and their communities. My name is Mazhar Hassan, and I'm committed to shedding light on these critical issues. And this is our look into the countries where women face the most extreme hardship, a journey of understanding, empathy, and hope. Our journey begins in Afghanistan, a land steeped in history, and now, unfortunately, grappling with a starkly different reality. It's a nation where the Taliban's return to power has ushered in an era of profound change and escalating restrictions. This resurgence has tragically made Afghanistan the world's most repressive country for women and girls, casting a long shadow over their lives and futures. Across the country, women are now barred from holding most jobs, their professional aspirations stifled, and their economic contributions diminished. Furthermore, they are forbidden to travel any significant distance without a male guardian, effectively curtailing their freedom of movement and independence. Consequently, women have been systematically erased from public life, their voices silenced, and their presence diminished in the very spaces they once occupied. The ban on education beyond the 6th grade represents a particularly devastating blow, as it has extinguished the dreams and aspirations of an entire generation of girls, robbing them of the opportunity to learn, grow, and contribute to their society. Any attempts at peaceful protest are met with swift and often brutal violence, further suppressing dissent and silencing those who dare to speak out. Tragically, domestic abuse is rampant throughout the country, fueled by a climate of impunity and a lack of protection for vulnerable women. With the formal justice system in disarray, women are left with virtually no legal recourse to seek protection or redress for the injustices they face. The Ministry of Women's Affairs, once a beacon of hope and a champion for women's rights, has been replaced by an institution primarily focused on policing women's bodies, their clothing, and their movements, further restricting their autonomy. With women systematically forced out of the workforce and denied opportunities for economic advancement, countless families are plunging deeper into poverty, struggling to survive in an already fragile economy. As female professionals are sidelined, the country loses its vital doctors, teachers, and community leaders, crippling essential services and undermining the nation's future. The overall economic impact of these policies is nothing short of catastrophic, pushing the country to the brink of collapse. But beyond the economic devastation, the true cost lies in the silencing of half the nation's potential, stifling innovation, and hindering progress. As one Afghan woman poignantly stated, "They have not just closed the doors of the university to us, effectively ending our pursuit of higher education, they have closed the doors to our future, condemning us to a life of limited opportunities and unfulfilled dreams." This is not merely a matter of policy or governance, it's a deliberate and calculated act designed to keep women powerless, marginalized, and subservient. The unfolding story of Afghanistan serves as a stark and urgent warning to the world, a chilling reminder of what happens when women's fundamental rights are systematically erased and their voices are silenced. In Iran, women have waged a decades-long battle, a persistent and courageous fight that spans generations. It's a battle against a regime determined to control not just their actions, but their very identity, their self-expression, and their place in society. The tragic death of Mahsa Amini in 2022, while in the custody of the morality police, ignited a powerful movement. Zan, Zendegi, Azadi, woman, life, freedom. A rallying cry that echoes the deepest desires of a nation yearning for change. The mandatory hijab is enforced as a tool of state control, a visible symbol of oppression and a constant reminder of the limitations placed upon women. Defiance, even the slightest deviation from the prescribed dress code, is met with harassment, fines, and imprisonment, a harsh reality for those who dare to challenge the status quo. Iranian law institutionalizes discrimination. Women's testimony in court is worth only half a man's, effectively silencing their voices in legal matters. Travel requires a husband's permission, stripping women of their autonomy and freedom of movement, and custody laws overwhelmingly favor men, leaving mothers vulnerable and children caught in the middle. Activists like Nobel laureate Narges Mohammadi, who has dedicated her life to fighting for human rights, face constant harassment and prison for simply demanding basic human rights and equality. Yet despite the risks, Iranian women continue to lead protests, create powerful art that speaks truth to power, and fight tirelessly for change, refusing to be silenced, even in the face of immense pressure and danger. Despite achieving high education rates and excelling in various fields, women are often kept from fully participating in the workforce and achieving economic power, perpetuating a cycle of inequality. "They can beat us, they can jail us, but they cannot make us go back," said one determined protester, encapsulating the unwavering spirit of the movement. The struggle is undeniably severe, marked by sacrifice and hardship. But the spirit of resistance is unbreakable, fueled by a deep desire for freedom and equality. Iranian women are courageously redefining what freedom truly means, challenging traditional norms and expectations, one act of defiance at a time, paving the way for a more just and equitable future. In Saudi Arabia, reforms like women driving mask the persistence of the male guardianship system. Women still need a male guardian's consent for key life decisions, rendering them legal minors for life. Activists who fought for change like Loujain al-Hathloul have been jailed and tortured. New laws codify male authority in marriage and divorce, and disobedience can be punished. Economic participation is rising, but true freedom remains conditional and fragile. "You feel like you are always on probation," said one Saudi woman. The kingdom stands at a crossroads between modernization and patriarchal control. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, sexual violence is used as a weapon of war, leaving women in constant danger. Armed groups use rape to terrorize and destroy communities with hundreds of thousands of survivors. Dr. Denis Mukwege's Panzi Hospital treats these women, whose bodies have become battlefields. Justice is rare, and survivors face stigma and fear, often unable to report crimes. Poverty and displacement force many into early marriage or survival sex. Education is a luxury, perpetuating cycles of powerlessness. Yet Congolese women form survivor networks, demand justice, and act as peace builders. "They tried to destroy us, but we are still here," said a survivor. "Their resilience is extraordinary, but the world must not look away." In Somalia, decades of conflict and tradition have trapped women in cycles of violence and poverty. Female genital mutilation affects 98% of women, causing lifelong pain and trauma. Child marriage is common, robbing girls of education and health. Armed groups and extremist laws make daily life a negotiation with terror. Maternal mortality is among the world's highest, and basic services are scarce. Despite this, Somali women run businesses, lead households, and organize for peace and rights. They fight to end FGM, gain political voice, and write a new constitution. Empowering Somali women is essential for the nation's future. Their strength is a force for change in a fragile land. In Pakistan, patriarchal honor codes put women's lives at risk, with hundreds killed each year in so-called honor killings. Legal reforms have failed to end the practice and conviction rates remain low. Domestic violence is widespread and seeking help is stigmatized. Millions of girls are denied education, especially in rural areas, limiting their futures. Activists like Kandil Baylock, murdered for challenging norms, symbolize the cost of defiance, yet the women's rights movement is vibrant. Orat March brings thousands to the streets demanding justice. These women refuse to be silenced, fighting for a safer, more equitable Pakistan. In Yemen, war has created the world's worst humanitarian crisis, with women and girls suffering most. The collapse of healthcare has made childbirth deadly, and reproductive care is nearly non-existent. Child marriage has surged as families struggle to survive, with girls as young as 8 forced into marriage. Gender-based violence is rampant, and displaced women face constant threat. Years of progress in education and rights have been erased by conflict. We see women who have lost everything, holding families together with nothing, said a Yemeni aid worker. These women are the unrecognized heroes of the war. The scars of this crisis are carved into the bodies and souls of Yemen's women. Any future peace must center on restoring their rights and dignity. The stories we've heard are a stark indictment of a world failing half its population. Yet in every country, women rise as agents of change, demanding dignity and rights. We see hope in survivors rebuilding, journalists risking all, and small victories that crack the wall of oppression. This is not a distant problem. It's a matter of global security and human decency. Our task is to amplify their voices and support grassroots organizations on the front lines. The rights of women are universal and non-negotiable. Empowering women is not a favor, it's a necessity for humanity.